Welcome to 20 at 10 with Nat. I'm your host, Natalie, and my special guest today is a Texas native, and you might know her from Shy Beast, and she has a new musical project we'll be hearing about called Lady Heartwing. Please welcome Mariclaire Glaeser, also known as MC. Hi!
Hi.
Welcome with our
Hello.
mutual cups of coffee. How's it
Yeah.
going?
Clink. Um, yeah, I didn't expect it to rain so much this morning, so I thought the light would be a little bit better in here. But
It's really beautiful, actually. I love the natural, like, white lighting. It's my favorite, probably,
yeah,
especially early in the morning. Yeah.
I thought about washing myself out even more and wearing a white shirt.
Perfect,
Yeah.
perfect. Well, thank you for joining me this morning and for it being a Saturday morning and you just being up for hanging out and having a conversation. I'm
Hmm.
excited.
Yeah.
We already have, oh, hello. I jumped over to the comment thread. We've got Joanna here from Twitch and Sydney Wright and Ken joining us from Facebook.
Good morning, ladies.
Yes. Oh, and this is how comments appear in the video. Thanks,
It's
Ken.
like that Dimitri Martin sketch where he's like, just add ladies to the end of anything, and
I do it all the time,
and you
actually.
become the creepiest guy in the room. He's like, "You guys need any help with those Skittles, ladies? You know, or whatever it is."
Yeah.
Um, anyway,
Hey, Tom, what's going on? Yes, Sydney, it's definitely a gal party today. Okay, let's get into some questions. I have some things I'm excited to ask you about. First, I'm going to make the text a little larger since I'm not wearing glasses. Okay, so I was reading a little about your history of your projects, and one thing that you talked about is that, if I have the details correct, part of you entering into the music world had to do with your older brother,
mhm.
and he had something to do with you forming Shy Beast, right?
Yeah, or I mean, before Shy Beast, it was the same group of individuals, but it was a different name.
Okay, what
But
was your first name?
well,
Or
we couldn't figure out what to call ourselves, so we just landed on MCG, which you know, not the greatest name, but it
there's,
was
M83. There's all kinds of
yeah.
like,
And I think
yeah.
it was like I feel like Andrew Bennett and I were like joking about how I don't know who it was, but we were like, yeah, but you could stand for something like magical cat grenades,
Exactly. Who's to say?
or just my initials, you know.
Hey, that's fine too.
Yeah. And I think after just like a few years, we were all like, all right, maybe we need to change our name and kind of do some upgrading. So
When did y'all form? When did you first form as MCG?
um,
What year was that? Because I'm trying to think of when I met you.
it was like, was it 2015 or
You know,
14 or
well, I met
15?
you when. Okay, we were just talking about it earlier in soundcheck. So I met Mary Claire MC. Do you prefer MC?
It doesn't matter. I really like. I didn't have a choice in like what people called me because I was the third child, so
Okay.
it was a
Siblings tend to give
baby.
everybody nicknames. I am notorious for just shortening someone's name and just creating my own nickname for someone, and I have to
No, I
double check with
love that.
people like, "Hey, I just called you Steph. Is that okay? My bad."
Yeah. Well,
Um,
Sarah Kyler's calls me Mickey. Um,
okay.
my one of my other best friends calls me Murray, like an old man, like Murray.
Nice. All
Um,
right.
so I think it's up to you. You can call me MC.
Okay, MC. Well, I met you. I want to say it was probably 2012,
Okay.
and it was through Taylor Baker, and my the image in my head is walking into this house that was like, it's kind of like a sorority house in hindsight. It's like 2 stories and like 10 women, and like, how many bedrooms does this place have?
Yeah.
And there was a backyard, and there maybe was a holiday party and like a
Mhm.
photo booth. And I think there's a picture of us, and we're wearing like Santa hats or mustaches or something. Like, very
Yeah.
college, post college type vibe.
Yeah. Put a bird on it. Yeah.
Yeah. And I remember, well, I guess the things I remembered about you were your hair. I think you had kind of a shorter blunt cut at the time, and then you are a tall woman and a little intimidating, but in like a beautiful way.
Oh.
And then that you were a musician, and Taylor was really talking you up. And then shortly after, I think you and Taylor might have both played at Ingredients, which, does that shop exist anymore?
I don't know.
I
I
th-
don't know.
the building is still there, which I guess is its own interesting fact in Austin. Most things are getting raised. But it was this cool little shop where you bring in your own container and buy your ingredients. Right? That was the point, right? There's the
That was my
reduce,
only
reuse,
time.
recycle.
That was my only time there. Taylor Baker has always has her like I mean has always had her hand on the pulse of like cool new places.
She's a very impressive human.
Yeah, this is her hand and this is the pulse. Anyway, but yeah, I think I think that was it. I think that was the premise of the that establishment.
I
I don't know
felt
if I
like it
actually
was very
played.
Austin.
Yeah, I don't know if I actually played though. I feel like I mean for a while there, I feel like I was like slinging her merch for her shows.
Hmm.
I might have just been there for like
Then maybe it's
work.
possible I never saw you play. I thought that I did though. I don't know where it would
Well,
have
you're
been.
about to. Yeah, I don't know.
Newsflash, folks. It's about to happen.
I've got a news flash for you, Walter Cronkite. I should not do jokes.
You're allowed to do jokes. This is my show. I get to make the rules, and I say you get to make jokes. So
Okay, cool.
let me
Um,
turn my phone on Do Not Disturb real quick.
okay,
Okay, good.
okay. Ingredients did close.
Bummer.
Yeah,
It's such a cool idea. You could bring in your growler and like get beer. Like
yeah,
super
yeah.
cool. Well, okay, so that's. I remember meeting you in that time frame, 2012 ish, I would say.
Hmm.
And I thought you were very cool. I mean, I still think you're cool, but my first impression of you was like, okay, this girl's very cool.
Yeah. I also like spoke in a very lower register at the time.
Yeah.
I mean, I probably still do, but I feel like that I was really husky. I was really husky with my voice. My mom
But you
always.
were, it just is a thing that causes people to like lean in a little bit, which is not bad. No, I'm just saying, like,
Yeah,
it's like there's some curiosity there.
yeah. My mom always made fun of me. She was like, "If you keep talking low, you're gonna get, your like your neck's gonna get droopy."
Really?
She was like,
That sounds like a
"Yeah,
wild wives' tale.
mom,
Is
yeah,
there any credit to that? Is that
yeah." My mom was like, "If you keep, she was like, you need to speak with your tongue lifted in your mouth." I mean, she
I think
always
it's a
thought of,
very English language, English culture thing to talk lower.
yeah. I don't know.
Interesting.
I don't know.
Okay.
Sorry, that's not interesting subject
No,
matter.
I think that's interesting because I also talk lower and softer, and like I don't know why, but it feels more. What does it feel like? Like, what does
I
it
don't
feel?
know,
More
but I
in charge or more sure of yourself, maybe?
yeah, well, I also did it kind of like, I mean, my older brother, I wanted to hang with him and like his friends.
Yes, yeah.
So I feel
Makes you
like I
feel
just
more
kind
adult.
of adjusted my voice so that I could be
That's
like,
a good point.
hey, Justin, what's
Hang with
up,
the guys.
man?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's true. Well, also, so this is a theme in my life growing up. I always wanted to hang out with the guys. Like,
Yeah.
all of the girl games were dumb. I was like, you're playing house? And then I would always get voted in as the mom. I'm like, no, this is not fun. I'm
You're the
out.
cool mom.
What are the guys doing? Because that sounds. Oh, football? Yeah, that sounds like a lot of fun. Let's do that.
Mhm.
Tag? Great. House? No.
Tag. Um,
Except that then all the boys just chase me because they assume that I'm slower. And which is a self-fulfilling prophecy because if I'm the only one getting chased, then I'm the one getting winded first. So of course I'm slower because I'm the only one running.
Yeah, that's
The end.
interesting.
The end. Not bitter, not at all.
Yeah.
Okay, so Shy Beast came out of MCG, and then you have now a new project on the horizon. You've released some music that I've listened to that's really fun and
Mm.
made me. You couldn't see me yet, but I was like, this is cool. I wanted to move. So, which I
Nice.
think that's right in tune with what your goal is, right?
Yeah, I just want you to dance and get in a vibe.
I
So,
mean, it's a vibe, and I like it. Well, but one question I wanted to ask is MCG was kind of your first iteration of a band. Then it turned into Shy Beast, and which your brother was not a part of, right? Like he moved to LA, and then you kind of called everybody else in, and like y'all went forward as Shy Beast, right? If I have it
yeah,
right.
so my brother and so I had written songs like in college and post college, and kind of was just playing them, like at a coffee shop or at a wings joint. And my brother was like, "We really need to record these," and so I recorded like an EP with my brother, and then I recorded an album with my brother. The EP was like in college, and the album was like probably around the time that you and I met. I had no plans of having a band. It was literally my brother just being like, "We really need to record these, and I have connections, and I'm cool. I'm the cool older brother."
I know a guy.
Um, he was like, "I can like play a lot of the instruments," and I was like, "Okay," like I can't do anything, just big brother. And so we recorded with Lars Goranson,
All right.
um, which oddly enough, he engineered the my favorite band, the Cardigans. I mean, a lot of people really
Okay.
like the Cardigans, but I also
Okay.
like them too. He engineered their album Gran Turismo, and I got to sing into like the mic that I guess she used, one of the mics she used, and he was like, "Oh, you're singing in the Nina mic."
Oh my
Um,
gosh.
yeah, so that
Wait,
was
did that make
fun.
you nervous, or were you like empowered in that moment?
I was like very excited, and so that was fun. I recorded the EP and the album with Lars, and all those songs are like um, very very like piney, like when you're in college or after college and everything's so dramatic,
Mm-hmm.
just like everything's like I had a crush on this guy, but he likes my friend instead, and like there's a whole song about that,
Mm-hmm.
just very jilted in love. The whole point of the story is that it wasn't until a few years after that that like a band came to be, because I was just sitting on that stuff. Like I went to India for a long time, and then my brother was like, "Hey, are you ever gonna like play music for real?" And I was like, "I don't know, man." And he was like, "You should call up some of my friends." They were like, he was like, "They're not doing anything." um,
Nice.
so I mean, not really, but he suggested two of his friends to me. I mean, and I had known these two guys since uh, I was a child, like a child star. Just kidding,
Right.
a baby girl. So I reached out to two of them, and and then the rest is kind of history. And we formed, started playing together. But I always kind of had this like this little sister complex about myself. Like my brother's friends, you know, were still helping me along,
Mm-hmm.
in that process. Sydney Wright had a question.
I saw it. Let's see. Is it this one?
Yeah, about the shoot, like is Sydney referring to like the like who took the photos, or um,
Maybe. Did you work with her or Letitia or
no,
someone or like?
shoot for Lady Heartwing promo in the release?
Do you have a video for this yet?
Um, I don't have a well,
Afterglow is released though, because I heard it.
yeah. So they're released. I just didn't know if she was talking about uh like who did the photos or something like that.
Well, maybe who did do your photos?
You should ask. Also, I don't know if I'm getting people's pronouns right when I'm saying things. So if I say something wrong, just correct me in the comments, I guess.
Compassion and grace.
Well, just don't want to be a dick. So, yeah, yeah. I mean, so my husband and I, Kyle, we just took a bunch of photos in our house. Oh, cool. Yeah, we just took some photos. I dressed up.
I saw. It's amazing. Continue.
Yeah, and then we just like edited them ourselves and came up with like kind of a like the Instagram account started kind of like roughly like a fun little pop art account with no like real plans of turning it into like a music account.
Okay.
Um, but I was also keeping the door open for that. So it was sort of fun to have it be already its own thing, and then it was almost like a whole year of just like uploading photos before like I started uploading any kind of music promotion on it. So that was fun. But
Awesome.
yeah.
So wait, so it was you and your husband that were shooting the photos, or does someone else shoot them?
Oh, just me and Kyle. We
Okay.
did all that. It's pandemic kind of stuff. We really wanted this project to be like as in house as possible, just to see. Um,
Okay.
I'm just so used to. I mean, I'm not opposed to working with other photographers and or other people that work in different mediums. I think
Mm-hmm.
just during COVID, it was just easier to
Oh yes, that makes
and
sense.
fun for us to like work together on something.
I think
Um,
that's really cool.
because he's a really like talented artsy guy and has a lot to offer. So I thought it would be a fun project for us to work on
I
together.
love it. That's awesome.
Yeah.
Also, I meant to give Tom a shout out. Tom's joining us from Louisiana on YouTube.
Awesome. Hi, Tom.
Okay, so for well, you kind of explained some of it. Where did the idea for the name Lady Heartwing come from?
So I actually I bounced it around because the Heartwing persona exists within a larger world of,
Mm-hmm.
of like characters, and she's just one of the characters. So I really had to kind of nail down like who I wanted to represent myself as most of the time, so that it wasn't like me putting on all these different hats. Like I wanted to make myself like a character, and so for a while there, I was wrestling with Hero Man.
Okay.
I almost named the whole project Hero Man. Um, so, and it was sort of roughly based on this like anime that I liked called One Punch Man, where he's just this guy that's just kind of bored with his life, and um, but like all he has to do is like when there's like a monster invading his town, all he has to do is just like he like yawns and walks up to him, and then he has this like sonic boom punch. All he has to do is just punch something, and it just punches a hole through that thing, and then like through the rest of the city behind that thing. So it's just he's just called one. He's like it's so easy for him to just save the day. He's just like all right, and he punches the thing, and everything blows up. So I thought about you know just naming myself Hero Man. But then I thought Heartwing would be fun because then I could. Heartwing seemed a little bit more like this, a little cheesy. It reminded me of everything that I liked about like She-Ra or like um, Care Bears or it,
Yeah.
two very different shows. Like
I
She-Ra,
mean, but
Care Bears.
melding all these things together is what's fun
Yeah,
and what you can do with that as an artist. You take
yeah,
all of your like inspirations and like roll them into
yeah.
something that kind of represents different pieces of them all, which is super
Yeah,
cool.
yeah. I mean, I grew up watching we had the entire Castle Grayskull from She-Ra, like a life
Okay.
size like play thing, which was like my brother and sisters, and I would just go in and be like, yeah, just kind of play around. But we had lots of figurines. And I loved She-Ra. Um, I watched a lot of like My Little Pony and Care Bears, and when I got a little
Nice.
older, it was like Sailor Moon. Um,
Okay.
I got real into anime. I would just draw. I would like
Do you,
pause the VHS and draw the anime
uh,
characters.
okay.
Um,
Manga,
So
right?
what?
Manga is manga the still art and anime the moving art?
Manga? I don't know. I yeah, pretty much. I mean, and I also read a lot of graphic novels.
Okay.
So anyway, I don't know where this is going
I
at
don't
all.
either, but I like it.
Where are we going? Oh,
Well, I
my
guess
heart.
I was asking about the inspiration of like the name Lady Heartwing, and you've definitely answered that. So like,
JoJo feels old.
well, oh, that's funny, Joanna. And then I wanted to ask you about dancing. Did you dance as a kid? Were you in
Yeah,
dance? Because you
yeah,
definitely dance now and on stage, and I love it.
yeah. I didn't have a choice in the matter of dancing. My mom danced her whole life, and my sister danced, and so I danced. And I wanted to quit so many times, but my mom would just like spank me and then like put me back in class. Um,
Okay.
so
But
I
you
was,
dance now by choice. So
yeah, I
like,
do now by choice, but I was so bad growing up. I remember like there's home videos of me on stage dancing, and you can hear my dad leaning over to my mom and saying, "She's awful. Let's just take her out.
really?
Let's just take her out. She's terrible." Yeah, you can hear my
You could
dad.
hear. Oh my gosh.
Yeah, yeah. I mean, it's true though. I mean,
Wow. Okay.
yeah, and so
Oops.
yeah,
I meant this one. Wow.
um,
Watching you dance is a lot of fun because you look like you're full of joy and you're really enjoying yourself.
yeah,
You look like you have the freedom. You look like you are free and having fun.
that's
Is
good.
that accurate? Or
Yeah, yeah. No, I
how did you like what
transition.
well, I don't know. Would you say okay, so you were in like what kind of dance were you in? Ballet? Like
Yeah,
jazz?
I
Like what kind
mean,
of things were you in?
the first time, I mean, like I was in this creative movement class when I was 3, and then I never stopped dancing. So you just sort of kind of like kept going. But ballet and tap and jazz, um, those were like the three kind of things. And when I got to middle school, like they introduced like modern. I went to this local dance studio growing up, and I joined the local dance company, like youth dance company,
Okay.
and so weekends would be dance. I would also dance for hours on the weekends.
Were you
And
still bad?
I got better when I was like 9, just
Okay.
because I think my mom put me in all these summer intensives for dance that it was like where like outside people would come in and like really like work on you. And then I think that's when I started to improve. Tap dancing became something that I started to have an affinity for. I think I liked it because it was about being loose,
Mhm.
and it didn't matter what your upper body looked like. Rhythm tap. I'm not going to say the same thing about Broadway tap dance, but rhythm tap is all about keeping your ankles as loose as possible, and then
Mhm.
making as many sounds as you can um, with the least amount of effort, which I
I like
really
that.
thought was cool. And the upper body was just there to help like with the movement, and I found this kind of way of existing in my body that felt natural for the first time dancing. And
Oh.
then I used that feeling and I applied it to the other kinds of dance that I was doing. Ballet was always rough for me. I mean, they put me on point shoes when I was 9, and I wasn't ready. And then I had to have surgery like years later
Oh
because
no, on your feet?
it kind of deformed my feet because I just didn't have my feet weren't strong enough yet to go into the shoes, and so it ended up just like messing with my feet. And this happens a lot with kids though,
Wow.
when they're not done developing. I think they've changed the rules now to like wait till they've developed really strong feet before you put them in point shoes.
Right.
Anyway, uh, then I decided to major in dance, so I went to UT Austin and got a BFA in dance there, and then
Okay.
that's when it really happened for me was um, finding my own choreographic voice, and so that's kind of how it went. And I had to have a surgery in college, so I think it kind of limited my ability to really pursue dance further. But
Okay.
I ended up joining a local dance company in Austin for like 9 years called the Kathy Dunn Hamrick Dance Company.
Okay.
Um, and so I kind of have this. I've already had like a professional dance career, I guess. I mean,
Wow.
So I guess I'm a professional, or was, even though it feels weird saying that. I
This
don't
is
feel
ringing a
that.
bell a little bit. I think we talked about this when I
Yeah,
met you about dance.
but I've never felt like a good dancer my whole life.
So
Like
funny.
I've never felt good at dance. I've just always done it and
Interesting.
enjoyed it. And there's like a community, you
Would you
know.
say that, well, let's say that you were a good dancer in your terms. What if you were like a really an even more amazing dancer than you are? Do you think that your path would have ended up being more professional dancer and not musician at all if you had
Um,
been even more talented in dance?
yeah, I probably. I think I would have probably not lived. I would have moved to one of like a Chicago or
Like New
somewhere
York or
else,
something?
New York. But yeah, because I did like audition for the Rockettes, and I was trying to get in. Like, I also wanted to do the whole Broadway thing growing up. That was a huge passion of mine. But I think I just, like anyone, rejection kind of moves your path around. I just sort
Yeah.
of ended up staying in Austin for different reasons. I think if I had, I if someone had asked me what I wanted to do in college, I would have said I wanted to be in a big dance. I wanted to be in a really reputable dance company. I would have told
Wow.
people that. I wouldn't have said like I want to be a musician. I was already playing and writing music, but it was
Mm-hmm.
always just for me. I wasn't really thinking about like having a band.
Right.
So
Would you say then that in the few highlights you've mentioned, it almost sounds like that foot surgery like solidified your opportunity as a musician?
yeah, I actually got that surgery right after my first year as a dance major in college. And I couldn't turn on that foot. I had to like learn how to walk on that foot
Oh my
again, and
gosh.
it set me back a lot. I had to redo like a year, I mean, of certain classes, and then like halfway through being in a dance company, I slipped a disc in my back, and
Oh.
that really set me back. And then I tore a ligament in my foot, and I just think that's just what you sign up for when you're in a dance company. You're more prone to injury, and the more injuries you get, and the older you get, the closer. It's just depending on the injury. Ligaments don't stretch back all the way when they get torn.
Mm-hmm.
So I think I left the dance company oddly enough because music was sort of taking off more for me, and I you can't do everything at the same time
Nope.
if you want to excel at that thing. Um, it was just getting to the point where I was leaving like a rehearsal that ended like I was teaching fitness, and I teach a cardio class and like a bar fitness class, and then I go to dance company class, and I would have dance company rehearsals before, and then I would drive downtown, and then I would have a show like for
Oh
the
my
band.
gosh.
And
Yeah, as you
and
do when you're
that wasn't
invincible.
something that wasn't something that could be maintained. I
Right.
think I injured myself the most when I was doing a lot of stuff, and I think I just the idea of being gentle and mindful with your body and with your uh, like breathing normally, and nutrition, and like thinking kind thoughts, like those were all things that I didn't think about. It was just like push, 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 like excel, be the best, be excellent. Like don't let them see you falter. And there was those that was like how that was my whole mindset until probably like 2 years ago.
Mm.
So I think I don't know where I'm going with this, but I'm just happy that I've sort of tapered back a little and
Sounds
working
like
on
you've
that.
learned better how to take care of yourself, which is a
Yeah,
huge, we all have to learn that. That is a huge part of becoming an adult and like maturing as a person,
yeah,
learning that our energy is limited.
mm-hmm,
And like, I had a similar thing where I was doing photography because I was too afraid to do music. And so I
mm-hmm,
was pursuing that and my skills in photography. And also, I've been writing, my whole life and playing guitar for like 15 years, but like
yeah,
never for not that long for other people. And I
yeah,
reached a place where I was realizing how important music was to me
mm-hmm,
and also seeing some limitations in photography and I realized I can't do both to the level of professionalism that I would want. And so I
Exactly.
realized I had to choose. And I had to really think through
It's hard.
like what is going to bring the most fulfillment and joy? Like what will I regret the most not doing? And so cuz both of them were going to require an upgrade in equipment.
Yeah.
And I was like, I have limited money, limited energy. Like where do I want to pour my resources? And so I decided on music. And once I made that commitment, then things started really shifting and changing and doors opening, and like it's really interesting what happens when you make that decision. But it sounds like you also are a talented individual in different ways, and I think it's harder for a person potentially when you're gifted in lots of ways, or you're kind of naturally good at or maybe better than average in several things, to really like hone in on just one or two, you know, and really excel at those. And so
Well, it's funny because most people can do a lot of things, whether it's like they're all in the arts, or maybe they have an affinity for something that's not necessarily an artistic craft. But I mean, a lot of people have to deal with these small little choices all the time, I
yeah.
think. And when I was talking about how busy I was, I mean, that kind of is just how it is living in Austin when you're like when you're a musician. Like
Yep.
you're everyone is trying to do everything
Yep.
in order to be able to do what they want. So my situation wasn't unique. I think it made me physically exhausted, um, but the whole framework of just like running from this to this to this in order to be able to do that one thing that you love for 45 minutes at this venue that's not even going to pay you that well, uh, just so you can do it, just so you can feel alive, you know, just for that 45 minutes in that 1 week of your life. You do all these other things. Um,
Yeah.
but yeah, it's
It
interesting.
kind of touches on the value that we have, at least as a Western culture, of work and being busy and the hustle.
Yeah.
And to the extent that we don't take care of ourselves. And I think that's kind of a, for sure, capitalistic and kind of Western culture way of thinking. And it's been hard to unlearn some of that. Like, it's hard to find the balance between, like, work hard and also rest well, you know? Like, how
Yeah.
I don't have to do everything, I can't do everything. So, how do I save the best of myself for the thing that I really want to do, you know?
Mm-hmm.
Would you say, this kind of touches on another question I had for you, what about the process of creating, producing, just listening to music? Like what in the process of music brings you the most joy?
Oh. Um,
Or you feel the most alive, I guess would be another way to phrase that.
I would say the very beginnings, uh, the writing probably.
Okay,
Um,
that's interesting.
I get really stressed out when I'm in the studio, um, when I'm working with someone else. It's not
Mm,
there. I have some social idiosyncrasies where I feel I start to doubt what I say when I'm working with other people. I start to hear what I'm saying out loud, and it sounds unintelligent, or I'm questioning myself now. But there's something about when I'm just alone with myself and like a keyboard or a guitar, or maybe I'm just like opening up Logic and just throwing some weird sounds in there, that I'm the most courageous, and the most unquestioning, and I feel like I'm the way I feel whenever I used to be on stage and just like getting in this zone and
okay.
dancing, or banging my head on my keyboard, or giving myself whiplash because I'm like head banging so much. And when I'm feeling the most like raw and unapologetically myself in whatever creature I am at the moment, I just think uh, probably probably the songwriting process, like stage. Um,
That's really cool. Do you think that based on what we've had to learn in this season of lockdown, do you think there's a way to, for you specifically, to, as you're writing and engaging with producers, like, is there a way to kind of get the best of everything? Like, still be yourself and maybe work on things remotely and send it off to a producer? Like, where you
Um,
still feel confident, but like, I don't know, is there something that's changed in this season that you think will give you more confidence moving forward in that studio process?
yeah, I think producing my demos out more fully, um, having a more strong, solidified idea of what I want this world to sound like, instead of being like, there's nothing wrong with like sending a less produced demo to a producer and having them like
Flesh it out.
come up with stuff uh, because there's also benefits to that. But I think for me, coming up with a more specific idea for what everything else is doing. Um,
Mm.
uh,
Do you mean melody wise, or do you mean just like sonic landscape, the way that
Sonic
it
landscape,
feels?
yeah, Sonic
Do you,
landscape for
have
sure.
you done before? This is like my thought process, because like that's really important to me too, is like getting it right for the sonic
Mhm.
landscape. But I'm limited in my abilities to create that landscape. But like I've found it really helpful to like create a playlist on Spotify or whatever, and like
Mhm.
send an email like, I really love the drums at 2 minutes and 57 seconds right here and how it builds. Or like I really love the
Yeah,
oohs. Do you do things like that when you're talking to producers that are helpful?
I have done that before. Definitely.
Have you found it
Um,
helpful in the process, or like it didn't really?
I think for me, it never quite worked out that well, and I don't know why. Um, but I think for me, it works best whenever I have ideas that are more simple,
Mm-hmm.
that are, I guess, more easy to execute. um, I think if I know, I think it just depends on the song, honestly.
That's fair.
Sometimes I just know exactly what I want everything to be,
Do
and
you,
then
are your skills to the level that you can just then create what you want it to be, or at least a demo-ish version of what you want it to be? Is that where your skills are? Oh yeah, also Sydney's asking more
um,
specific questions about
what do
this
you
too.
use for pre-production and demos? I use Logic, um, but yeah. Sorry, what was the question?
um I actually just forgot.
No, it's
So
okay. It's okay. It's like
I
um,
do have one more question though before we move on, because
yeah,
we've
yeah. Go
we've
ahead.
gone kind of long, but like I've really enjoyed it. Like I'm not sad about it, but um
I'm not mad about it.
one thing I love to ask all of my guests is your earliest memory of being absolutely like taken by a song, of just being mesmerized by something. Maybe for you, if you naturally like to move, maybe it was a song you couldn't help but dance to. You were just caught completely in this song. I
Yeah.
like to hear about your people's firsts, like falling in love with music, basically.
Okay. Yeah. I was very, very, very tiny. Uh, I mean, like not like I meant like like a small child.
Mm-hmm.
I was probably like 4, and my mom always listened to like Brazil '66 or '67 or like anything with like Astrud Gilberto, any like Brazilian Portuguese music,
Okay.
um, uh, and anything that's like a samba, bossa nova, that kind of music.
Mm-hmm.
And she always cooked to that. And you could see her kind of like dancing around.
I love
Um,
that.
and so it was probably one of like, I mean, it might have honestly been like Girl from Ipanema, because that's like, tall and tan and young and lovely, you know, that kind of song.
Yeah.
And I mean, or anything like that. But I think it was probably bossa nova music for me, because I remember just she has this memory of me in the kitchen in like my nightgown being like doing like just like feeling myself as like
Oh
a
my
4 year
gosh,
old
that's amazing.
and her
There's
and
probably not video evidence of this, is there?
yeah, but apparently like and my hair was like all over my face, you know,
Amazing.
you know. And she was like, oh, she turned around and apparently I said, I like this guy. And I was just like, you know what I mean? And
Oh, the foreshadowing.
yeah, and I remember thinking like I had all this confidence and like with ease when I listened to it. It really honestly wasn't until like I was like put in dance class and like you're lined up on at a bar in your leotard and
Mm-hmm.
you're like looking at yourself in the mirror and comparing yourself to all these other bodies in the studio and
Yeah.
sense of technique and all these other things start like structure gets put in. Before that happened, I just kind of moved. And I think yeah, it was probably anything that like made me dance is like my earliest memories are were I guess that still sticks with me. So yeah,
Awesome.
yeah.
Also, we have a couple people joining us, Gabrielle and Andrew on Facebook.
Hello.
Okay. I did ballet when I was a kid,
Nice.
and I loved songs that made me want to dance. And the one I remember that I had on repeat was, I think it was called Hall of Mountain King.
Oh
It
my God. What a creepy
was so
thing.
intense, and I would just like furiously dance across the living room like a tornado. And as like a 6-year old or whatever,
Yeah,
and make
yeah.
up all these stories in my head of what was happening. That was completely by myself. Okay, we do need to move on to other parts of the show.
Okay.
I'll ask you quick questions. Have you ever thrown a video game controller in a fit of rage? So
Um,
specific.
a video game controller? No, but I've thrown a phone
Ooh.
in a bit
What
of break.
stage of life were you in when
I was in
the phone was
I was
a
in high
child?
school.
Oh, high
I was in high school in the kitchen with my mom, and she was like asking me to do something, and I was so upset about whatever we were talking about, and I was like, I don't care, and I threw my phone. I don't know. I mean,
Was it a cell phone? Was it a corded phone? Was it a cordless phone?
oh God, it might have been a cell phone that like my parents got me. I was such a hmm.
Was it like an iPhone or like a
No,
Razor? What kind of phone are we talking
no,
about?
it wasn't even a razor. It was a I
A
don't even.
brick?
It must have been a brick. I mean, it was like I was like I got a cell phone when I got in the musical in high
Mm-hmm.
school, and I didn't have a driver's license yet,
Okay.
and so I had to have a way of calling my mom to come pick me up. Which what a nice thing, like to be able to like have your mom pick you up after your after school activity. Like so many people have to just find their way home.
Yeah.
I just look back on my life and like all the things my mom did for me. And, like she bought me a cell phone and then she would pick me up from my like stupid little musical practice and then I throw it because because I'm like a late bloomer and my period's late. And I don't not late as in like I'm pregnant as a 15-year-old, but I just think that I just you have your hormones like pumping at
Yeah.
the age,
We take
and
so much for granted.
everything's such a big deal, and
It is such a big
everything's so
deal.
exciting. And, oh man. Anyway, so
Well, all right. That's funny. Do you have a question for me?
yeah, I do. Have you ever like played like a big prank on anyone, or do you know anyone that's like done like a pretty insane prank on like a friend or anything like that?
Well, big prank.
Or just like prank in general?
Yeah, I sometimes get myself into prank wars, but I
Hmm.
have to be really careful because then I end up I can get they can get really offensive or hurtful.
Yeah.
Um, my general rule of thumb is I try not to play a prank on anyone that I am unwilling to help clean up.
Yeah.
So, but one time at camp, I was a staff member at a camp. The band that came in to lead music at this camp, they were just obnoxious. And
Hmm.
like they would take our golf carts at night and like flip them and stuff. And like they were really reckless with like our camp property. And they kind of mistreated this staff member. Well, they just dumped water on her, and I got really protective of her
Mhm.
because she had a hard time fitting in, and a lot of other staff members like didn't treat her very well either.
Mhm.
And so I was like mama bear, and I was like, this is not okay.
Yeah,
And
yeah.
so I was like, they also like stole some of like the um not craft, it was like all our water balloons that we were going to use with the kids because the lake had flooded. We needed a water game because it was so hot outside. We were going to use that for the kids at camp, and the band stole it. And so like
These people
that
sound
kept
terrible.
they kept us from doing our job, you know. And then they go and like dump water on this girl that has a hard time fitting in. I was like, this is not okay. So we start like I get a couple people together who was also really irritated with the band, and we go and we start playing pranks on them, and we it got a little intense. But like I think one of the final straws was we put cornflakes inside their pillowcases and towels and like between clothes in their suitcases,
Mhm.
and just like it was in between the sheets in their beds and stuff, and which is not the worst thing you could do, you know. It's not like slime or something, but
It's
still like we got in trouble.
yeah.
um I'm trying to remember what else we did. That's the one that I remember the most. And one of the staff members, she just went ahead and took the fall for it, but like the rest of us volunteered to help her clean up.
Mhm.
um but the band retaliated with that. Before we made peace, they retaliated by putting open jars of sardines in our rooms, like in a corner under our bed, so like no one would know about it till it started smelling, and then at that point it's too late to do anything about it, you know.
Oh my God.
Anyways, I just
Oh,
that was taking it too far. Sardines, you have carpet in those rooms, you know, like it's just
yeah.
that's too much. But
Oh my God, that's so involved. What a,
it, you know, but I'm fortunately we made peace early enough that they were like, "Oh, we feel bad. We put some things in your room. You might want to go get them out." And we're like,
yeah.
"Damn you."
Well, all I was gonna say was that I have this friend. I mean, she's a good friend, but when she was a kid, she had a best friend, and they constantly played pranks on each other. One time, this friend was like at my friend's house. So my friend's name is Jana, and she had a friend sleep over. They were like very young, and the friend went and took a shower. It was like shower time for her, and so my friend Jana went and pooped on a paper towel, and then put the paper towel
On the
on
ground.
her friend's pillow,
Oh,
so that when her friend came out of the shower, there was just this poop lying on her. Like those were the kind, and then instead of like freaking out, her friend just burst out laughing, and she was like, "Good one, Jan!" Like like, and so
wow.
those were the kind of pranks they played on each other, like intense. Like
Whoa.
yeah. So anyway,
I haven't ever done
yeah,
that.
pretty pretty wild
That is pretty wild.
for two girls just hanging out, sleeping over.
Maybe that's why I wasn't really allowed to have sleepovers when I was a kid. Maybe that's partly why.
Yeah, your parents were like, "Oh no,
We don't know what our kids are gonna get into. We don't
yeah,
know what kind of monsters they're gonna turn into. I don't know.
yeah. Monsters indeed." Um,
Okay, I'll answer a question. Then do you have a song that you're gonna share with us?
yeah, yeah, sure.
Have I lost more than $100 on a bet? I don't think so. I'm trying to think of other kinds of losses. I've taken bets like what just like risks. Um and like whenever I, for example, buy something, I'm trying to think of something that I kind of felt like was a little risky. Like I think a few years ago I got sucked into this marketing class for Instagram or something. I like watched, you know, the first like not infomercial but like a free webinar, and this is what I'll teach you how to do on Instagram. And then I paid like over $200, maybe more, for this like marketing class. And
Mhm.
it's like, yeah, I'm totally going to do this. And then I never access the class or go through the course. And I hesitate to buy into anything or commit to things that require money because I just don't want to waste money, you know?
Mhm.
But like looking back on it, instead of like getting really upset with myself, I'm just like, you know what? That was a $250 lesson. And if I learned it, good.
Yeah.
And if I didn't learn it, it's going to be more expensive.
Right.
Um, so I try and like approach it through a learning lens and let myself recognize the loss and feel bad about it and also hopefully learn from it. I don't know. Anyways, I try, but it doesn't always work out that way.
Yeah.
Okay. What is this a lady? You said this is a Lady Heartwing song, an acoustic version.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. I just it's weird. I haven't played guitar for anyone in 5 or 6 years, so it's like a strange thing for me to try to do again.
That
Um,
I think it's amazing. That makes me really excited.
yeah. Well,
So
it's just
like,
it's fun. It used to be like an extension of my body,
mm-hmm.
the guitar. Um, I brought it everywhere with me. You know, you could see me like on campus, like crossing streets,
Schlepping, is that the word?
schlepping with my guitar.
Schlepping.
I just like played somewhere, that kind of stuff. And I just decided to start picking it up again. I mean, and just to like just see what my like electronic songs would sound like on guitar.
Yeah.
It's fun. So
Well, okay. So, would you like the entire screen to yourself, or would you like me to hang out with you on screen while you're playing? I'll mute myself either way.
you can hang out.
Okay.
It's just I feel very anxious now. Like,
Oh,
what if
did
I
I?
mess up a lot, and then people are just gonna write the word judge, judge,
No, no, no,
judge,
no, 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 no.
in
Grace
the
and
comments.
compassion on this show.
Yeah,
I'm going to, if it makes you feel any better, I think I'm going to pull out a really, really old song that maybe I'm a little nervous about. So
yeah.
I'll be right there with you.
This brings back like
Yes,
memories.
Joanna, judgment free zone. We all are here because we love music.
Oh my god.
So just do you.
Okay.
Should I? I'll. Can I dance along? Is that okay?
Yes. This is just so funny. Oh my god,
Good.
I gotta lubricate.
I know I've been like, trying to like recoup the coffee.
Hmm. Oh man, the coffee's kind of working though a little too well.
We're super close to the end.
Okay, I'm super close to the end. Anyway,
I am gonna mute myself and I'm gonna take off echo cancellation for you so that the sound is good.
okay. Do you ever feel like whenever? Oh, sorry. Are you off? Oh, you're off. Okay, hold on. Okay, I just have to remember how to play. And then let's see. Okay. Okay, it's gonna be fine. You gave me an iron heart. What am I supposed to do with that? You left me in the bitter dark, and maybe that's a solid fact. I'm heading to the core of the planet. I'll try to melt this metal down. You gave me an iron heart that I just can't seem to live without. Live without. And as I make the deep descent, I wonder what will be when the transformation ends. Will you see me anew? Love me, be true. pulls me deep into the ground. I'm gonna break it all apart to see if I can figure out what love's about. And as I make the deep descent, I wonder what will be when the transformation ends. Will you see me anew? Love me, be true. Say that you do. See me. And as I make the deep descent, I wonder what will be when the transformation ends. And as I make the deep descent, I wonder, make the deep descent. I wonder what will be when the transformation ends. Will you see me anew? Love me, be true. Say that you do. See me. There you go.
Yeah, that was super cool.
I'm just like trying to get all the way up there.
No, it was great. I definitely wanted to move, and I did. I let myself move the whole time.
Good. It's funny because in the chorus, it's a bunch of vocal cutting,
Oh.
where my voice keeps getting detuned, so it's kind of hard to make the chorus. It's supposed to will you see me, and it's like this weird I can't make that translate, but it's fun to try.
I love it. Well, that one is not released yet, right?
No.
I'm
No.
excited to hear the release version.
Oh, good.
This
Thanks.
one was really beautiful. I like it. I like it as is. I like it acoustic, but I'm super curious to hear your visualized version.
Yeah, it has like a whole story behind it too. Like it has its own character and everything. So
Oh, that's awesome.
yeah.
Also, hey Jimmy and Nick. Jimmy's on Facebook and Nick's on Twitch.
Oh, cool. Nice.
This one is super old, but I realized I just never play it because I wrote it in open D, and when you are a solo act and you don't have, someone backstage tuning your guitars for you, it's just not conducive to playing in a live show, so I never play it. But it is a beautiful song, so I figured I'd play it for you. But
Nice.
it's a little, I'm putting the guitar on my knee because I don't have a strap.
Yeah, I don't have a strap.
It's gonna be all kinds of, but I'm standing up, so that's why it's a little.
Oh my god.
Okay, it's called "Don't Give Up on Me."
Okay, cool. Wait, do I mute myself?
Only if you think you'll make noise, I guess.
Oh no.
Okay. Let's see here. I'm a little nervous. Okay. Why do I try so hard? Why do I fight? Every single thing you say. Why do I complicate and twist your words? Is it that I'm afraid of what I'm worth? Don't give up on love with everything I am, but I'm afraid of loving you. How will I be changed? How will I be moved? Don't give up on me. Don't give up on me.
Can I talk now?
Yeah.
Oh my god! The chord progression in the verse, you do something where it's like uh dun 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 dun. It's like a, oh man, I love that.
Thanks.
Oh, that was so satisfying.
I'm glad.
I need that. I feel like I want that song to be on like right when I wake up. I'm like getting my coffee, on this like rainy day. It's so beautiful.
Thank you.
Thank you.
I just like a couple nights ago realized, oh, I still have this song. I never did anything with it. And I wrote it probably around the time we met, 2012, 2013.
Oh wow.
And I just didn't realize how complicated it makes it to write something in open D. You're tuning 4 strings live on a stage.
Yeah.
And it's hard to keep them in tune. And anyways, so.
That was beautiful. What's the song about, if you don't mind me asking?
It was probably right before I started dating again. It was kind of a combination of, a lot of my songs are a combination of multiple stories kind of rolled into this one theme of just being afraid to fully love someone and being afraid of loving and being loved. And it's always fear that causes us to do weird things, like cope or like hide or throw up walls.
Yeah.
And so I was writing about with a couple of different relationships, just like interrelationships, not necessarily dating relationships. Like, being vulnerable with people is hard, and because it requires trusting someone and opening yourself up to be hurt. Like, it's when you're vulnerable with someone that there's more potential for greater hurt, and so that's kind of scary. So that was kind of the theme.
No, it's beautiful.
Thank you.
I like the tempo of it. I liked it's one of those songs where the timing of it and where you take space and where you choose to pause or draw out a moment. It just makes me kind of go, it's like a lean in song. It's beautiful. And your voice is so easy.
Thank you.
It just, it just kind of, it's like you're just talking the song. You're not singing it. I love that.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Well, I have really enjoyed you being here and sharing part of your story, a new song, Super Love.
Oh.
And just being with me this morning for apparently a whole hour. We really chatted today, and I love it. So,
Oh, good.
yeah, thank you so much.
Um, yeah, this is great. I wish that we had more time together, just
Totally okay.
to hang out.
Yeah. Also, everyone, I don't know if you saw, everyone loved your song. I forgot to put these comments up, but everyone
Oh,
was really excited about it.
it's
So,
fine. It's just a song. The song's actually about this character who has been alive for like millennia and has like an
oh,
iron core at its center, and observes like other humans and other beings like experience like relationships and deeper feelings and connection with each other, and it's unable to do that because it doesn't have a real heart. So it ends up
oh,
finding it ends up walking around this volcano to the very top, leaning in and jumping in, and the hot magma of the volcano melts its iron core, and this magical thing happens where the this like bio like thing transformation happens where its iron core is melted, and then the magma like starts to form a heart, and then the volcano
oh,
erupts, and this being like lands, and then it's covered in ash, and at the very end, like its eye opens, and it's like a human eye, and so it's
oh,
basically about like the magical properties of some volcano on this planet can transform this iron person into, it's like a Tin Man story basically.
okay.
But he basically is okay with like only living like 100 years or so, just to be able to feel.
Oh, okay, okay.
And
Yeah,
so
that makes sense.
um, that was the whole premise of the song I played you. It's hard to explain.
Are you gonna make a video or like have someone animate something? That'd be a really cool thing to visualize.
Kyle and I have actually been animating lately, and the goal for this whole project was for it to be a series of animated videos. Pre-pandemic, that's what I wanted to do anyway.
That's so
Um,
cool.
that was the whole point, was to create an animated universe. It's just taking longer to have that realized, but um, in the meantime, we'll just figure some stuff out.
I love it, and I'm really excited for it. And I know I love what you have visualized so far, and I love where your mind is going with it. So I'm excited to see each piece as it comes to fruition.
Thank you.
Yeah. Is there anything else you need to? Oh, I didn't drop your links. Hold on, everybody. Hang tight. I'm gonna drop you all the links so you can follow Lady Heartwing.
Drop on my links.
Okay, I just dropped them in the thread. I got so into our conversation I forgot to do it earlier.
It's okay.
And do you have anything else anyone needs to know coming up for you?
No, I'm gonna be releasing another song here in a month, um,
Ooh.
called Lonely Ghost.
Okay.
Sorry, I keep messing with this thing and it's moving the screen. Kyle and I are actually been working on a dance film video for it, so that'll be fun.
Ooh.
I'm kind of supposed to represent like a kind of like a fox demon in
All
the video.
right. All right.
But yeah, so we're doing that, and I mean, but I don't have any shows yet, so
Okay.
I'm still working out what the live set will be, and it's going to be kind of clunky and a little awkward, just getting my sea legs for
Oh
like,
yeah, for
the
sure. I've
project.
described it as getting my stage legs back.
Yeah, yeah. I mean,
Um,
it's not going to be polished or anything super exceptional for a while, but
yeah.
you just walk through it, figure it out.
Well, I'm excited and I'm going to be paying attention because I want to see this in real life.
Cool. Yeah.
And then I guess I'll say it for whoever's watching. I have a digital show on Monday. It's similar to what's happening right now, like
Mhm.
a conversation with Jeff Blinkenhorn
Oh, cool.
through a digital medium called Bramble, which is like Zoom meets video game kind of. Like you have a little person you can like walk around the world, and when you get close to another little avatar, like your Zoom screen pops up and you can see him in real time.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, and so it's going to be a shorter than what has been today, like maybe 40 minutes, a
Hmm.
little Q&A between each other, and then we'll play some songs. But if you're interested, reach out to me because it's limited capacity. So if you're tuning in, there's like 20-ish spots left. So it'll be really fun. Of course, it's Jeff Blinkenhorn, and he is both engaging and hilarious. So it'll be a good time. It's 5 p.m. Central Time on Monday.
Okay, cool.
Yeah. Thanks everyone for tuning in, and I hope you have a great rest of your day, and stay safe out there. The world is opening back up slowly but surely, and all the best to you.
Thanks, Natalie. Thank you, everybody.
Bye, everybody.